Coming up on Mountain News this morning, former President Joe Biden made last-minute preemptive pardons on his way out the door. And over the weekend, there were multiple unrelated shootings in Harlan County.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. My name is Amelia Lee. Today's date is January 21st, and we are right at 5:30 this morning. And we're right at the time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at our forecast as well this morning. Megan, we've been talking about the cold, and I know we've talked about this 3 times at this point, but I am still so stuck on the fact that Alaska seems to be warmer than we are right here in Hazard.
Yeah, it's actually unbelievable. When I heard that fact, I just had to check to make sure, and yeah, it was sure right. It's colder here than it is in Alaska, and that will be the trend as we're heading even into the afternoon highs for today. Now, good news is, for the most part, we're going to be nice and clear from snow this morning. Looks like we could see a few snowflakes or two as we're heading more towards the southern portions of our area in our Tennessee counties, but really just looking at the cloud cover. Now, we do have the slightest chance of snow as we're heading into the afternoon. That's when the winds will also be picking up, making those feels like temperatures even colder. Now, this chance will be moving through our area. Here's what it's going to look like when you're picking up the kiddos from school or you're heading off from work. You're going to see the chances more towards Moorhead, but it'll be tapering out as we head through the next couple of hours. Now, here are those current temperatures. Definitely quite cold. We are in the single digits for most of our area, looking to be in the upper teens and low 20s as we're heading into our forecast high. These numbers are higher than yesterday's, but keep in mind that our winds will be faster, so it will feel colder than yesterday, even though we do have the slight warmthness from the sun. Now, as we head into the next couple hours, here's what you can expect. We'll hit that high temperature as we're nearing that 4 o'clock hour, and then we have that slight chance for snow as we're heading to 3 o'clock. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. The Senate Monday night voted to confirm Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. It came only hours after President Donald Trump's inauguration. Rubio, the former Republican senator from Florida, becomes the first cabinet official for the new Trump administration to be Senate approved. Rubio's nomination to become Secretary of State was overwhelmingly bipartisan. Rubio called it a great honor to be confirmed by his former colleagues. Republican Representative Michael Waltz officially resigned from Congress this morning, according to a notice read from the House floor. Waltz is Trump's incoming National Security Advisor. Without Waltz in the House, the margin for Speaker Mike Johnson is now only 3 votes. There are 218 Republicans and 215 Democrats, one of the thinnest majorities in history. The Department of Justice announced Donald Trump named James McHenry as the acting attorney general. He will serve in the role until Trump's nominee for the job, Pam Bondi, is confirmed by the Senate. Just minutes before leaving office, President Biden pardoned 5 members of his family, 3 siblings and 2 of their spouses. In a statement, Biden wrote he did it not because they did anything wrong, but because he feared political attacks from President Trump. Earlier, Biden also pardoned Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Miley, and members of staff of the January 6th committee who investigated the assault on Capitol Hill.
They pardoned a lot of people. They pardoned, before we even get to today, they pardoned, 33 murderers, absolute murderers, the worst murderers. You know, when you get the death sentence in the United States, you have to be bad, because they don't give it much.
President Trump also pardoned all people involved over the January 6th riot. Transportation Security Administrator David Pekoski stepped down after Trump officials asked him to leave his post. Yesterday, just before noon, TSA workers got a message from Pekoski saying Trump's transition team told him his time as administrator would end at noon. Homeland Security officials had expected Pekoski to stay in the role. President Trump picked Pekoski to serve as head of the TSA in 2017. A first legislative win in President Donald Trump's return to the White House is in motion after the Senate passed the Laken-Riley Act on Monday. This legislation requires the Department of Homeland Security to detain undocumented migrants who are charged with certain crimes, including theft and burglary. It was named after Laken-Riley, a college student who was murdered by an undocumented migrant from Venezuela while out on a run in Georgia last year. The House is expected to pass the bill later this week, which will then send it to the president's desk to be signed into law. There were 3 shootings in Harlan County over the weekend. WYMT spoke with Kentucky State Police about the incidences, which they say happened within 24 hours. The first shooting happened at approximately 1:30 Saturday afternoon. Police say there was a domestic dispute between a father and son. When they arrived, officers say they found the father, 63-year-old Charles Allison, dead outside. The son, 37-year-old Charles Allison, was found dead inside with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. If you are suffering from domestic violence, Trooper Shane Jacobs says there are resources for you.
We don't want you to ever feel that there's no help. There is help, and we want to help you. And the Kentucky State Police is willing to give you all the resources that we have to help you, assist you in any way.
In the second shooting, police were called about a domestic dispute between a couple. The husband, Johnny Simpson, told officers his wife, Samantha Simpson, shot him in the face and body. Officers say Samantha died at the hospital, a result from the self-inflicted gunshot wound. Johnny was taken to UK hospital. The second shooting happened on Sunday at approximately 1 in the morning when police say a man shot an 8-year-old. The shooting happened in the Bledsoe community. Officials say the child was first taken to Harlan ARH. She was later transferred to UK hospital for treatment. Trooper Shane Jacobs stresses the importance of gun safety. He says if you do own a gun, you should be cautious when handling and cleaning the firearm.
If you have a weapon inside your home, please make sure that weapon is locked up at all times, and if you do have it out, please exercise gun safety and do not point that at any direction that it may be fired and strike anyone inside that residence.
Trooper Jacobs says at this point the child appears to have non-life-threatening injuries. 34-year-old Andrew Sundberg of Irvington, Alabama was arrested. He is charged with wanton endangerment. Kentucky State Police Post 10 Commander Captain Danny Cottle made a statement regarding the 3 shootings. Cottle says in part, quote, "We will continue to put 100% effort into serving our district." He continues by saying, quote, "While these shootings have occurred in a short period of time in the same county, we've had similar events across the 3 counties we serve." Trooper Jacob adds that these shootings were not connected.
It's just unfortunate that these 3 occurred within a 24-hour period. This is not typical here in Harlan County. We have a very good county here within our post area, and it's just a sad situation that this occurred.
We have details on all 3 shootings on the WYMT News app and WYMT.com. Also in Harlan County over the weekend, officials say there was an arson arrest. 24-year-old Gordon Foltz is in jail as part of an arson investigation. KSB says Foltz was connected to multiple fires in the Cranks community that happened at approximately 3 o'clock on Sunday morning. State troopers say Foltz ran from them after they caught him trying to light a fire. Trooper Jacobs says the fires happened in abandoned structures.
We just urge the public to be aware of your surroundings. If you have abandoned structures around your residence, please look out for your neighbors. If it's not yours, but please look out for your neighbor. If you see something, say something.
Officials say when Foltz was put into the police car, he started to kick the windows. He was taken to the Harlan County Detention Center. Foltz faces a slew of charges, including arson, fleeing and evading police, and resisting arrest. And finally, in Harlan County, a church was damaged after a burglary over the weekend. KSP says they were called to Christian Fellowship Church in Everett on Sunday. Officers found damage to the church, a van, and an outbuilding. It reportedly happened between Saturday and Sunday morning. Officers say church members are offering a reward for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. Anybody with information should call state police. A man was arrested after a domestic violence incident. Officials with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office say 34-year-old Andrew Hung of Corbin reportedly threw a woman on the ground. Hung was arrested off Cliffview Lane at approximately 5:30 Sunday evening. Officials say 2 children were there during the incident. Hung was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. Also in Laurel County, deputies were called to a complaint of a possible domestic violence incident. 46-year-old Tommy Eastridge of London reportedly got into a verbal altercation that turned physical. Officers with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office say Eastridge pushed a woman into a door and then slammed her up and down. He left the scene but was found and charged with assault. He was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. Still to come, countries like the UK are now requiring new information to be filled out by Americans before traveling across the pond.
And temperatures are slowly but surely warming up this week. I'll have more up next.